Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wood and Graphite, the #2 pencil-based video channel on the internet. Today we're looking at my pencil roll. Ooh. So here we have it, my canvas pencil wrap with 30 of my nearest and dearest graphite friends with me at all times. This is a Jakar pencil wrap. It's made of canvas and pleather, fake leather. It's really nice, it's well put together, and it's pretty strong. I think about £6.50 from Fred Aldis, Manchester, so really good price, and holds quite a few pencils. So let's unwrap this here, and you can see what I carry with me. Ta-da! These are my pencils. Let's rip through these really fast so I don't take up too much of your time. I've got an Apsara long point sharpener here, really cheap Indian sharpener, made out of plastic, but it's great. This here is a Claes Olsen? Yeah, it's a Claes Olsen little free pencil. Similar to IKEA type store. They sell a lot of homey things, but it's a Swedish store, and they have pencils, which is pretty cool. So I just keep that there, mostly to keep that sharpener in the pack, but also just because you have a little throwaway pencil if you need to get rid of one, or you needed to give it to someone and you don't want to get it back and you don't want to give away one of your good ones. Next up, we have my Stabilo Boss yellow highlighter. I use this for highlighting books that I'm reading at the minute. Mostly because I love scribbling in books, I love writing in them, I love annotating them and making them my own, and so the highlighter is what I use to do that, and then I write on top in pencil so I can erase it if I want to change what I said. Next up is the Faber-Castell Perfection Eraser Pencil. Interesting little thing. Let me see, the Perfection 7058, 1058B, I don't know. It's an eraser pencil, eraser on one end, brush on the other. Fantastic little device. Really accurate erasing, and the brush is great for getting rid of that dust. Next up, we have the General's Semi Hex with a nice black mark on the ferrule and the green foiling yellow pencil. Gorgeous thing. Stephen Owen from the Erasable Podcast Facebook group sent me my first one, and then I bought a box for £4 from Fred Aldis because I love these and I want to keep them. Next up, we have the Conte French pencil. This is a 2B Conte pencil. Gorgeous thing, very, very dark. Nice round bar. This is a Conte French pencil. Next up we have this, which is the Conte in 2B. And it's a lovely pencil, nice round barrel, and very dark French pencil. Nice to get a bit of diversity in the pencil wrap. Moving from France to Germany, we have the Grip 2001, which is a Faber-Castell pencil. Very fancy, triangular body, grey dots on a lighter grey background. Nice end up on the top. Lovely pencil, works really well. Haven't used it all that much. I've got far too many pencils right now, and so I've kind of set some to the side and I haven't used them so much. So the 2001 is on my list to be reviewed and to be played with, but it's quite a long pencil, as you can see, so I haven't had a lot of time to write with it. Moving from there, from Germany, let's go to India. I've got the Natraj. This is the Natraj 621 in HB. Lovely pencil, kind of like a lumograph and a tradition vibe going on here in an Indian pencil. Very strange. Lovely pencil. Indian and very, very cheap. I think 3 packs of 10 for £6, so 30 pencils for £10. This is an Apsara Platinum, which is another Indian brand. Super dark. It says extra dark on it. These are gorgeous pencils. I've actually got a broken pencil bullet on top here. I dropped one and broke the bullet, and so I have this as like a little pencil topper just here. Because the brass is nice and heavy, and it's really cool in my pocket. Moving on from India. In fact, let's not move on from India. Let's jump across Mr. Norris here and move to the Natraj Bold, which is another pencil by Natraj, same as this one. But it's kind of like the Apsara Platinum in that it's a very dark, very thick cord pencil. Really lovely to write with. I've written this one down to this size because it is just a joy to use. Moving back, let's not forget Mr. Norris. This is a Stadler Norris in 2B with a nice orange cap rather than the normal red. Great little pencil. I've used it a fair bit because I got so many other fancy ones right now. It's kind of gone by the wayside, but I did write it down to that length, so I have used it quite a bit in the past. From there, let's move on. We move on to the Tombow 8900 in 2B. I love this pencil. It's the pencil I take to the gym with me because it's unassuming, and it's also really nice to write with. The 2B is a little bit darker than your standard HB. And the Japanese pencils are just terrific. They really hold a point a long, long time, and they just write really smooth. They're just lovely to use. Keeping with the Japanese theme, we move on to a Mono 100 in 2B. Very, very similar. I can't really tell these two apart that well. I mean, the wood on the Mono 100 is nicer, and the box is gorgeous. I have a box of HBs, Mono 100s, and the box is delightful, but I can't really tell how much difference between these two. They're very, very similar in terms of build quality and writing ability, to me anyway. From there, let's move back to the States. We have this fine fellow, which is a Prospector in the green color. I haven't used this a whole bunch. It was a little bit broken when I got it, and so the lead snapped a couple of times while I was sharpening up with the long point. So I did lose a bit of length on it, but that's okay. It writes really nice. Haven't had a lot of experience with it. And then I got this one, which is from Palomino as well, is the Forest Choice, which I got very recently in a Euro swap a couple of weeks back, and I have not written with it at all. I think I've maybe written a line or two when I first got it, but I have not written with it. Same with this Palomino. Gorgeous. I now have the full collection of Palomino, at least one of each, which is what I wanted, but I haven't written with those two yet, because like I say, I have so many pencils right now. It's tough to keep an eye on what you have and try and write with all of them at once. We have the space for my Golden Bear, because that's what I'm using right now to write with. And then, let's just keep with the Palominos. Let's move on to the Blackwing 602. Gorgeous pencil. First one I was introduced to in this kind of pencil fad. Love it to bits. The Pearl, another lovely pencil. I kind of have mixed feelings about the Pearl. I only own two. There's this one and an unsharpened one I have upstairs. I have a box of 602s and I have one MMX. I love the 602, one of my favorite pencils of all time. I really like the MMX, really good pencil. The Pearl kind of falls in the middle for me. I don't really need it. Like if I need a nice pencil for writing, 602. If I want a really dark pencil for just sketching and doing like long form notes where I need something really dark, MMX. If I don't really have a need for something in the middle. So the Pearls are nice, but I probably wouldn't buy any more than one or two of them because I just don't need it. So keeping with the American theme, let's move onwards. I have my Ticonderoga. I have a box of these bad boys. Stephen Owen also sent me, I think it's a Mexican one, which is like this. And also another one, which I think is a little older, possibly American. I'm not sure. Ticonderogas are gorgeous. Obviously, you got the very distinctive lines. We don't get them here in the UK, so they are quite unique. And you don't really see them that often, so it's nice. The green ferrule, especially, with the yellow lines, is really, really nice. And it's nice to have something a little bit different, and they write pretty well as well. I quite like writing with them because they're just a little bit different from the norm. This is, I think it's a Ticonderoga. It's definitely a Ticonderoga. They call it the Groove. I don't know if that means that, but I think it's a Ticonderoga. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Haven't written with it too much, although the triangular ferrule is awesome. That's really cool. Haven't seen that very much at all. Next up, we have a Field Notes pencil. Again, haven't written with it all that much, but I do like it. The wood grain is gorgeous. The nice green eraser is really cool. And I like the simple silver ferrule. You don't see that often, so it's nice just to see one just in plain silver. Nothing fancy. Then we have a Tradition in 2B. Unlike the Norris, the Tradition doesn't do dipped end caps in colors. They just have them all black. So I have this little bad boy. This is really cheap. Picked it up local. I think it was 70 or 80p. So super cheap. Nice pencil. Really, really sharp. They stay really sharp even though they're 2B and 3B. They stay sharp for so long. Next up, we have this, which I've sharpened in like this little nubbin point. You compare the points there. This is, let me see, a Norris Eco, which is made out of plastic. I think it's actually made out of Wopex, but it feels like it's made out of plastic. It's this weird kind of springy, stretchy material. Very odd, very nice, like a matte finish, but very odd pencil to use. I find that if I sharpen it up with a small point like this, it actually writes better. So that's from, I think it's Coombe sharpener, a little tiny one, and it gives this tiny little nubbin point, which is really awesome on some pencils. But yeah, it's a nice pencil because it feels totally different than anything else you've held in your hands. I think it's Wopex. It doesn't feel like wood for sure, but it doesn't feel nasty like those weird plastic pencils you get too. Moving on, we have the Faber-Castell 9000 Jumbo in 2B. One of the first pencils I bought when I was beginning this quest. Haven't used it a whole bunch. Used it for sketching, some light drawing. Don't really reach for the chunky pencils when I'm writing. I don't know why, I just don't. But this one's a mainstay for my case because I just like it. It's a great looking pencil. And Faber-Castell, they do good work. Well done, guys. Moving on, I have these, which is my black Murado Black Warrior, my mistake, from Papermate. Nice red band on the ferrule. Gorgeous circular black matte finish. The eraser is actually pretty good. Little pink eraser is not bad. I know they're made by Papermate. I know that's kind of contentious to some people, But it's a great pencil. I really like it. I've already written one down to a stub and it's gone. It's in the stub graveyard. I have not used it because it's unusable because it's so tiny. I actually sharpened to the ferrule and sharpened the ferrule just a little bit because I liked it so much. But I have a box of these from America. I think it was £3.50 from eBay. If you want the link, I will put it there. But it was so cheap for those shipped from the States. And it's a really good pencil. Even though it is paper mate, it's a really good one. Moving onwards, we have the Mitsubishi High Uni in 2B, which is kind of like the... no, that's the Uni Star, my mistake. Yeah, the High Uni and the Uni Star are very similar, but this is the Uni Star. I think it's a slightly cheaper version, but I have this in 2B. It's a lovely burgundy color pencil. Writes really smooth. Again, just got it very recently. Haven't written a whole bunch with it, but I can see myself writing for long periods of time with this because they're gorgeous, and I have a box of them, so I have a lot to use and a lot to play with. Next up, we have one of my old staples, one of my favorites, the Cedar Pointe black eraser, black ferrule, nice wood grain. Just what can you say? It's classic. It's a great pencil. This one is a little bit odd and different. This is a Her Majesty's Stationery Office blue office pencil, presumably for use on photocopies and that kind of thing. Her Majesty's Stationery Office is actually the office of the government. I think these are from the 60s, so I think it's been sort of assumed into something else now, but it used to be the people that managed all of the treaties and all the other kind of things. They kind of printed them up and made sure they were basically the stationery office. They did all the stationery stuff for the government. And so these pencils I bought on eBay, I think I got 7 of them for like £3 or something stupid. But they're really old and they're really gorgeous and they write nice dark blue color. And they're just a little different. They also have the short stubby point because the point on the blue kept breaking because it's not like a coloring pencil. It doesn't feel waxy like a coloring pencil, but it also isn't graphite. And so if I sharpened with a long point, it got broken very quickly. So I don't use it with that very often. I have the nice stubby point, which lasts a whole lot longer. Then we have this, the Koh-i-Noor 3423, one of my favorite pencils of all time, even though I just got it very recently in a Euro Swapathon. Red on one side, blue on the other. The most clear, dark, and colorful pencil I've ever had the good fortune of using. So nice to write with because you can just do your lines in blue and a little bit of highlighting in red and run that in with some nice dark Blackwing MMX or something. It's an awesome pencil. I think it's like a postman's pencil or something for marking that kind of thing. I freaking love it. I think it's awesome. I'm trying to source some from Europe because I can't buy them in the UK and I have to import them from Russia, which is redonkulously expensive. So I'm trying to source a box of 12. If you know anyone, let me know because I want to buy a box of 12 because I want these bad boys in my life forever. Moving on, we'll get a little bit of Swiss action in here before we finish up. This is a Caran d'Ache, and I don't know the name of it because I only just got it. It's a Fluos or something along those lines. It's a highlighter pencil. I picked it up from Fred Alice again on my many trips there, and it's really, really chunky, fluorescent green core, gorgeous looking pencil, matte finish, and really nice, chunky, thick pencil. Great for highlighting. Doesn't come out on the Expedition paper so well because of the plastic feel, but really nice on normal paper, and just a nice pencil to keep in the case if you want to do a little bit of color, a little splash of color to your life. Not a bad pencil at all. And then this one, which I just got the other day, is the Kimberly. It's the Kimberly 9XXB, super dark, darker than midnight on a moonless night, black pencil. I think it's a drawing pencil, but it's awesome to write with because it keeps a point like a champ, even though it's really dark. And this pencil is really dark. It's one of the darkest I've ever seen. It is genuinely black when you write with it, which is not something you get with pencils normally. And it's really nice to write with something so dark, especially if you want to like big, thick underlines underneath something saying, I am writing a note here and you should see it in dark black pencil. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 30, or 29 minus my golden bear, 29 of my nearest and dearest pencils. This is what I keep in my backpack when I go off to make notes. And that is them in their glory. I'm going to pack them up, I'm going to put them back in my bag, and I'm going to go make some more notes for you fine people. If you've liked this, hit like. If you want to share it with your friends, hit subscribe, send them the link. Otherwise, I'm going to leave that here, and I'm going to go. Thank you so much.